Christoph Haizmann. Johann Christoph Haizmann, 1651–5214 March 1700, was a Bavarian-born Austrian painter who is known for his autobiographically depicted demonical neurosis. The so-called Haizmann case has been studied in psychology and psychiatry since the early 20th century, especially by Sigmund Freud and Gaston Vandendriessche. Early life. Christoph Haizmann was born in Traunstein, Bavaria, in 1651 or 1652. Facts. Little is known about him before 1677. He was an impoverished painter, and when he lost a parent, he allegedly sold his soul to the devil in 1668 to be his bounden son for 9 years. After that time, Haizmann's body and soul were to belong to the devil. Haizmann claimed that he gave 2 pacts to the devil, one written in ink and the other in his own blood. Exorcisms. However, in 1677, when the pacts were due, he became anxious and made a pilgrimage to Mariazell, and after a successful exorcism, the pact in blood was given back to him by the devil. As the demonic infestations continued, Haizmann concluded that another exorcism was necessary to retrieve also the pact on ink that happened in 1678. Painting. Haizmann painted several pictures of the appearances of the devil, a triptych, and a series of 8 portraits with captions, and kept a diary of his visions. Later life and death. After his demonical neurosis, Haizmann became a brother hospitaller. He died in 1700 in Neustadt an der Mettau in Bohemia, currently Nové Mesto nad Metují in Czech. Manuscript record and research. To preserve the details of the successful exorcism, a manuscript, partly in Latin, partly in German, was composed sometime between 1714 and 1729, titled Trophium Mariano Cellens. It was rediscovered in the archive in the early 1920s, and Sigmund Freud was the first to analyze it in an article entitled A 17th-Century Demonological Neurosis, 1923. After him, several other writers have discussed the case. The most extensive research, including 2 books, has probably been carried out by the Belgian psychologist Gaston Vandendriessche. Other notable writers include Michel de Certeau and H.C. Eric Middelfort. A facsimile of the Trophium Mariano Cellens manuscript, along with an English translation, color illustrations, and critique of Freud, was published in 1956 by Ida McAlpine and Richard A. Hunter. Schizophrenia, 1677, a psychiatric study of an illustrated autobiographical record of demoniacal possession. Haizmann in popular culture. In 2003, a low-budget horror mockumentary searching for Haizmann was released. According to the storyline of this movie, Haizmann, as the son of the devil, is the Antichrist, and he didn't die in 1700 but was smuggled to America, and he still lives there. Literature. Allen, David F. 1999, Schizophrenia, 1677. La controverse Freud, McAlpine et Hunter. Critique de la raison psychiatrique. Elements pour une histoire raisonnée de la schizophrénie, pp. 7799. Urs, Toulouse. Bergand, Wolfram, 2003, Ninit ein Reviews Freuds. Analysen Text. Documentation Reviews, Tagung 23. August 2003, pp. 3945. PDF version. Certeau, Mitchell de 1988–1970, What Freud Makes of History, a 17th-Century Demonological Neurosis. The Writing of History, pp. 287–307. Translated by Tom Kalai. Columbia University Press, New York. ISBN 0-231-55749. Freud, Sigmund, 1961–1923, a 17th-century demonological neurosis. The standard edition of the complete psychological works of Sigmund Freud, Roman 19, pp. 72-105. The Hogarth Press, London. Harnisch-Fedger, Johannes 2003. Ein Teufelsneurosim 17 Jahrhundert Sigmund Freud's Lecture einer fernen Krankengeschichte. Psyche 4, vol. 57, pp. 313-342. Jones, Ernest 1957, Sigmund Freud, Life and Work 3. The Last Phase 1911-1939. The Hogarth Press, London. Kretzenbacher, Leopold 1951. Faust in Mariazell, Nachtrag zur Chronik des Wiener Gouverneurs, Roman 34, S1 ff. Chronik des Wiener Gouverneurs vol. 55 pp. 2830. Kutzes, Winfried G. 1992. Freud's Faust Case, Christoph Haizmann. Signs of Humanity. Elham et Sayes Scenes. Vol. 2, edited by Mitchell Ballat et Alii pp. 1043-1048. Mountain de Gruyter, Erlin. McAlpine, Ida Hunter, Richard A. 1954. Observations on the Psychoanalytic Theory of Psychosis. Freud's A Neurosis of Demoniacal Possession in the 17th Century. The British Journal of Medical Psychology, vol. 27, pp. 175-192. McAlpine, Ida Hunter, Richard A. 1956. Schizophrenia, 1677. Psychiatric Study of an Illustrated Autobiographical Record of Demoniacal Possession. W. Dawson, London. Midelfort, H. C. Eric 1986. Catholic and Lutheran Reactions to Demon Possession in the Late 17th Century. Daphne's Zeitschrift für Mittelere Deutsche Literatur, vol. 15 pp. 623-648. Peyer Thurn, Richard 1924. Faust in Mariazell. Chronik des Wiener Gouverneurs, vol. 34 pp. 118. Renew, Christian 2000. L'Affaire Haizmann, une Possession Baroque. SM 5, pp. 115-137. Renew, Christian 2002. Freud et L'Affaire Haizmann. Psychoanalytische Perspektiven 2, vol. 20 pp. 309-325. Renew, Christian 2011. Christoph Haizmann plus 1700 Entre Demons Familiars et Ange Gardien. Voudit, Jean Patrice Fora, Philippe Renew, Christian 2011. De Sacrata Tintin. Anges Gardiens et Demons Familiars de l'Antiquite à nos jours. Per, Rennes. Thurn, David H. 1993. Phytocomus Bibliothèque, Freud's Demonological Neurosis. MLN, Modern Language Notes 5, vol. 108 pp. 849-874. Urtubi, Louisa de 1983. Freud et le Diable. Presses Universitaires de France, Paris. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1962. Het Haizmann-Gevel van Sigmund Freud. Onderzoek betreffend het grondmaterialen de psychologische interpretaties. Unpublished dissertation. Leuven. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1964. Het probleem van de dood van de Vader in het Haizmann-Gevel van Sigmund Freud. Netherlands Tijdschrift voor de Psychologie en haar Grensgebieden, vol. 19 pp. 446-467. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1965. The Parapraxis in the Haizmann Case of Sigmund Freud. Publications Universitaires, Louvain. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1975. La bisexualité dans le cas Haizmann, un cas de possession démoniaque étudié par Freud. Revue Francaise de Psychanalyse, vol. 39 pp. 999 1012. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1978. Ambivalence et anti-ambivalence dans le cas Haizmann de Freud, le choix impossible d'un psychotique. Revue Francaise de Psychanalyse Vol. 42 pp. 1081-1088. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1985-1986. Johann Christoph Haizmann, ein Teufelsbundeler im 17. Jahrhundert. Mitteilungsblatt der Kulturverwaltung der Stadt St. Pölten, issues 11/1985, p. 43 and 12/1985, pp. 46-48 and 1/1986, p. 3. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1986. Der Teufelsbundeler Johann Christoph Haizmann. Prince Eugen und das Barock Österreich, edited by Karl Gutges, p. 348. Curatorium zur Veranstaltung der Ausstellung Wien. ISBN 978. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1986. Johann Christoph Haizmann 1651-1700. Barock Teufelsaustragung in Mariazell. Welt des Barock, edited by Rupert Feuchtmuller and Elizabeth Kovacs, pp. 141-145. Herder and Company, Wien. ISBN 3-210-24823-0. Vandendriessche, Gaston 1991. Christoph Haizmann's Paintings, an Unknown 17th Century Pictorial Codex of Diseases and Medicaments. Actes du Exercice Congrès International d'Histoire de la Médecine, Anvers 3-7 September 1990, edited by Eric Fearens et al. pp. 1167-1176. Societas Belgico-Historiae Medicinae, Bruxelles.